Hello, I'm Neil Quigley and welcome to the latest episode of my Blogcast. Hope you're well. I have purposely had a very quiet month. It was quite busy for me towards the end of last year and I've got quite a busy year coming up. So I thought I'd just take the opportunity in January to relax, take it easy and get myself ready for the year ahead. As part of that, I did decide to do dry January. I don't really drink that much as it is, but I just fancied a full reset from alcohol. So I had a few drinks on New Year's Eve and then after that I've not had a drink all the way through January and not really missed it, to be fair, although that has been helped by my plan of keeping things very low key because I haven't really been out too often to too many places, so the temptation wasn't really there. That said, a couple of years ago I did 6 months with no alcohol and I was getting quite used to drinking soft drinks out as well as trying all the various non-alcoholic options they do have now. Unfortunately, as I am celiac and therefore on a very strict gluten-free diet, finding zero alcohol, zero gluten-free beer when I'm out is difficult, although it has happened on a few occasions. There is one such brand called Freedom, which ticks both of those boxes. It's available in supermarkets, so I can have it comfortably at home, and I have found it actually on draft in the odd pub here and there, which if I'm not drinking is an absolute blessing. I quite like it. It tastes, I think, enough like beer to be passable, and with zero alcohol and zero gluten in it, it's absolutely fine for me. So the month, as I said, has been quite quiet, just been planning and scheming and getting myself ready for the year ahead. Haven't really done much at all apart from the cinema trip I talked about in the last Blogcast. That has been pretty much the highlight so far. I'm struggling to actually think what I have been up to. Obviously, I've had my head down working. I've actually tried to up my fitness regime as well. Just work a little bit harder and a little bit more often. I've got quite a good weekly fitness plan anyway, where I lift weights a couple of times a week, do a couple of sessions on an exercise bike and do lots and lots of walking. I do try and have a fairly balanced diet as well, although I do have a sweet tooth when it comes to chocolate and sweet treats. So that I haven't been able to curb this month, if I'm honest. I've just been not having the alcohol and working out just a little bit harder in the hope that I may just tone up slightly. And I think it is kind of working. I've only made a couple of little tweaks and just started doing a little bit more, but I am seeing a little bit of an effect. It's nowhere near the Paddy McGuinness 75-day hard challenge, which if you see what he achieved body-wise in that time, that is quite sensational. Mine was more just a 31-day, exercise a little bit more, don't drink alcohol and try and eat a little bit more healthily. That was about it, and I'm happy with my results. I didn't bother doing a before and after picture like Paddy, otherwise it could have been just a very tough game of spot the difference. I do plan on doing not just the blogcasts this year, but more videos as well. For Christmas, I got given 2 new fantastic clip-on microphones which I could attach to my mobile phone, and also I got a new tripod which has got a sensor on it, so the camera will follow me around when it's set up on that. So I do plan on doing some more video content this year. I've already got a few videos up as I continue to try out my new toys. You can find them on my YouTube channel, which is simply Neil Quigley TV. Check it out and have a look. That's where you may actually listen to these blogcasts. And also during lockdown, I did over 30 odd pop quizzes online weekly. They are all on my YouTube channel as well, if you fancy working your way through those. Well done to my mate Mike Sterling's daughter Posey, who has been nominated for a BAFTA, the EE Rising Star Award, which is a public vote. It's for her starring role in the film Lollipop. It was on BBC Two a couple of weeks ago, and it's still on the iPlayer. It's very good. She is fantastic in it. What happens next is a bonus. Just to get nominated for an award like this is fantastic. She has had a lot of issues and battles to face along the way. It's been quite the journey to get to this point. So pleased that she's been recognised in this way, and you never know, maybe she could win it. To win a BAFTA would be amazing. As you can imagine, Mike is a very proud dad currently. The other Sunday I went and met up with a good mate of mine, Amy. I've known them for quite some time now. We basically met when I went to work at a radio station in Yeovil. They were there at the time. I was doing some freelance work. Long story short, they then ended up leaving the station and I basically took their job. But there was a bit of crossover for a while we were both working at the station. So we used to spend time together out at the pub or at various places around the town, and our friendship stayed intact ever since, despite me taking their job. We don't meet up as often as we would like to, but I think that's the case with a lot of people nowadays. We all just seem to be so busy. It's hard trying to catch up with people and find a date that works for everybody. We just went for a coffee in Leighton Buzzard and found a really nice coffee shop, actually, stroke cafe, not too far from one of the big supermarkets there. Spent a couple of hours enjoying a nice latte and just having a chat and a catch up. The conversation does mostly always feature heavily on radio because that's how we met and that is what we both still do. We also managed to exchange Christmas presents, which is good going for us. There have been years when we have got each other presents, but we haven't actually managed to give them to each other till June. So to actually get the presents to each other in January is quite the achievement. Very proud of that. She's got lots of big plans for this year. I've also got things I would like to achieve and do. So we had a good chat about that. And of course, a reminisce about the old times. That's the beautiful thing about meeting up with friends. You get to catch up on what is going on at that moment and with each other's lives. But ultimately as well, if you are together for a while, you do end up just reminiscing and remembering some great times and some great stories, which is exactly what we did. It was a fun, relaxing couple of hours spent doing one of the things I enjoy doing most, talking. I have decided to stop doing my Radio 9 Springs show. I've been with the station since 2020, started doing a show during lockdown. Thoroughly enjoyed my time there. It is a great station in a great place. Spent lots of time working in and around Yeovil during my radio career. Just thought it was time to take a bit of a short break from radio and look at a few other things I wanted to do. I suspect there is a reasonable chance I may return to radio and another station. You never know. But I have now left that station. It was great to work with my old boss, Steve Carpenter, once again while I was there. Always great to spend time with him. After a very quiet January, I have got lots of things coming up in February, away in Wales and Manchester next week. And then, just a heads up people, it is Valentine's night and my girlfriend and I are doing an online Bubbles and Brie tasting with Love Cheese in York. We've done their virtual online tastings before. They're always great fun. In fact, this year for Christmas, we bought my mum and dad the same thing as well. So they're going to be doing it with us too on the night. And we've also, when we went to York, been in person to visit Love Cheese. They've got a great cheese and wine shop there, a little cafe out back where they serve lots of great cheese and wine. So I'm looking forward to that one. Then the week after that. I'm quite excited about this. I am a big Elvis Presley fan. Since I found out about this, I've been quite excited. Baz Luhrmann, who is also a big Elvis fan, but he has got way better contacts than me working in the film industry. Of course, he released the film of Elvis's life starring Austin Butler a few years ago. While they were making that film, they discovered lots and lots of hours of forgotten footage of Elvis in a vault. It was a lot of footage from several of his live concerts and some more candid behind the scenes chat with him and his musicians at that time. Baz found them, he rescued them from the vault, he has digitally enhanced them and also done the same with the audio as well. I've seen some clips, they look absolutely stunning. I purposely not watched the trailer of the film that he's made him into, which is called Epic, and it's a concert show basically with Elvis, the band, and the behind the scenes bits cut in. I really wanted to see it. After it had its debut at the Montreal Film Festival, I was desperately trying to find out when it would be released in the UK. I got that information about a month ago, and it turned out they were going to do some previews in the IMAX cinemas across the UK. And as I said, he's reworked the old footage, the pictures, and tweaked the sound. So I thought, well, I've got to see this in an IMAX. If I'm going to see it in an IMAX, why not go and see it at the IMAX with the biggest screen and the best sound system in the UK? So I'm going to the BFI IMAX on the South Bank in London to see one of the previews of Epic, and I'm very excited about seeing it. I'm sure it will be brilliant. I've had some great Elvis related nights out, from seeing a whole array of tribute acts to actually taking my mum to the O2 Arena to see the Philharmonic Orchestra with Elvis. So the orchestra were playing and there were clips of Elvis played in on big video screens. That was quite fantastic, and that night was made even more special by James Burton, his guitarist, and Ronnie Tutt, his drummer, also there. The event was hosted by Priscilla Presley and Jerry Schilling, who was a friend and one-time member of the Memphis Mafia. It was a great night, very well done. So I'm really looking forward to this new film from Baz Luhrmann. I know he's a big Elvis fan, so I know he'd have done a really good job. That is about it for this time. A slightly shorter one than normal because, I'll be honest, I haven't really been up to much. I didn't even watch The Traitors. I've never seen that. I kind of understand it, and I appreciate everybody really enjoyed it, or lots of people certainly. I'm just not really good at watching any TV or films. I'm not totally sure why. I just prefer listening to music and talking myself mostly. That is it for now. Take care, look after yourselves and each other, and I'll speak to you again soon. Bye bye.